Hey there, Mel Abraham here from Thoughtpreneur Academy, and in this video we're going to talk about why a 90-day plan is better than a 30-day plan and how to make things happen. So stay tuned. All right, one of the things that I see with many thought leaders and people in the space is that we actually don't give ourselves enough time to allow our ideas to take hold, to understand, is this hitting the market properly? Is it not? Is it something that we need to tweak or adjust? For some reason we think that we're going to take an idea, we're going to throw it out in the world, and overnight it's going to sprout. So here's the thing that I do when I work with my high-level clients and we start to build out their difference maker practice and their thought leadership. We work in what I call 90-day sprints. But we don't start with 90 days, we start with a bigger picture. And so what I want to do is I want to walk you through what I call the 90-day focus sprint. So let's jump to the iPad and let's give you the system and the process to make your visions come true and actualize them in 90-day sprints. The first thing that we got to start with is this idea of a 3 to 5 year kind of vision, all right? The 3 to 5 year vision, the reason we do that is that one, we get a chance to set the trajectory, which is our angle of growth for our business. Now, we're not going to make decisions and daily decisions from that. It's simply to put that point out in the hemisphere, in the atmosphere, on the horizon for you to kind of target towards, okay? From that 3 to 5 year vision, we now break it down. What I do with them is we break it down to 1 year goals. Now this is where we start to set a direction. Okay, now we know that over the next 12 months, we want to go a specific direction. What's the content? Who's the audience? What's the transformation? What are the things that we want to do over the next 12 months? The challenge is that I know a lot of folks will look at things and say, well, let's work from 1 year goals. Set there at New Year's or New Year's Day and you're coming up with your goals for the year and you try to operate from that. Here's the problem that I see is when you're looking at 1 year goals, there doesn't seem to be urgency because at the beginning you got a year to do it. And what I have seen is that when you get to like September of the year, you got 3 months left, all of a sudden there's this flurry of activity because you're going, wait a second, I just wasted 9 months and I didn't make any progress. So the idea behind this framework is to make sure that you're making consistent progress through the year. So we take those 1 year goals, and from those 1 year goals, we make and build out and say, what are the 90-day focus sprints? What this is gonna be doing is this. Now we look at it and say, here's our 1 year goals, and I'm gonna look at 90-day blocks, 3 months. And the idea here is to focus on what are my revenue generating activities that I need to do each and every 90 days to hit that 1 year goal. Once we know that, we're gonna have 4 of them during the year. So 4 13-week sprints, 90-day chunks that we need to do this for. Then we now focus on the very first 90-day chunk, because that's what we're focusing on. Depending what happens in that first 90 days, the other 3 might change. So we don't get it all planned out and do all the details and all that stuff. First, it puts us in overwhelm, and second, things change. We're gonna give ourselves 90 days of focused sprinting to make things happen. So we take that 90 days and we now look at it and say, all right, what are the monthly projects? Typically, we want to look at 1 to 3 projects in a 90-day period. So it's understanding what are the big needle movers, the big needle movers that you know if we got those done in that 90 days, we should hit our revenue targets for that 90-day period. So now we look at this and say, what are the 3 projects or so that we need to do each and every month? So we'll do 1 project in the first month, 1 project the second month, and 1 project the third month. Or we might do 1/3 of a project each month, however you want to break it up, but there's going to be 3 projects that will move the needle for you and move you into that revenue generating activity. Then we go down to this last piece, which is about turning it into weekly actions. This is about embedding into your work literally the tactical steps that need to happen. So it could simply be that tactically, you need to build out a funnel. You need to put out a landing page. You need to record the podcast, whatever it is. Now, here's the thing, is that we go from 3 to 5 years to 1 year to quarterly to 90 days, down to a month, down to weeks. Then after we've got that planned out, now you look at it and say, what are the most important roles that you play in it? In other words, what are the core elements that will drive revenue for you that you absolutely must be involved with? Those action steps are yours, okay? What are the other ones that you don't have to be intimately involved with, that you can delegate and oversee it? Those action steps need to be delegated. Now, you may oversee some of them, but you also might find yourself bringing someone else in. We call them typically an integrator or a project manager, that you can now give it to them and they'll figure out who's doing the action steps. But the key is this, is that when we do this from the top down, what you're going to find is that your ability to produce results every 90 days is going to increase 10x and exponentially. Fact is this, is that all we're doing is now we're looking at saying, stay focused and put blinders on for 90 days. Do everything you need to do to hit those revenue generating activities, absent the other stuff that you're doing for the rest of the year, because that doesn't matter if we don't do the first 90 days right. After that first 90 days, we evaluate, we adjust, and we move back to it. If we need to make more adjustments to the second 90 days, we do that. But that's how you hit your 1 year goals, and that's how you're going to hit your 3 to 5 year vision. Now, this is part of something that we talk about in the Legacy Maker formula, which is the 3 major pillars of distinction, of reach, and prescription. And this is part of the prescription arena. It's about understanding, how do you create a strategy and a plan to monetize what you know and to scale it. And this is one of the things that we do when we teach that. And here's the cool thing, is I'm doing a training coming up. It's a free training where you can join me. We're going to go deeper on the Legacy Maker formula, so we can give you kind of the tools, the tactics, and the things that you need to know about how do you create distinction with your content? How do you get yourself out there and stand out in a noisy market? How do you build reach, a platform and positioning where you've got the credibility, you've got the following, and the people that see you as not just an expert, but the expert? And then how do you create the strategy and the plan to hit not only your income goals, but your impact goals also? Then we'll move into prescription, and that's all about what does it take for you to monetize what you know, to scale it in a way that you get a chance to hit your income goals and your impact goals. So that's that free training. Look for the link around this video and make sure you get registered so we can do that deep dive. Let's get your stuff out there. Let's make you the difference maker you deserve to be. Let's give you the opportunity to have the impact you want to have. Let's get you the income that you should be getting. Let's do that. Just click the link, register, and I'll see you there. Income goal. Yeah. Then, and